Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Arrow Brave and the Bold video, and just like the Flash video last night, because there was so much crazy stuff, I'm going to make it a top 10 video instead of just regular top 5. I've also got previews for episode 9 of both shows, so I'll play both of those during this video whenever I get to those moments. So really the big takeaway from the episode is when they said next time, meaning there's totally going to be more crossovers, but careful for spoilers from the episode if you haven't seen it yet, starting with top 10 moments. Number 10, Amanda Waller teaches Oliver how to torture people. So just to address all the torture stuff in the episode, the producer said this was an episode all about the morality of being a hero. Arrow versus the Flash, and the way they treat justice. The flashbacks just showed how Oliver got to the point where he is now, where he got to like that Batman dark justice place. I felt kind of bad for him. It seems like no matter what he does, he can't win. Like, he can't torture the person in the flashback, so the bombs go off. In the future, he is able to torture the person, but they use it against him. So, both cases, he loses. I really think it ends up being a case-by-case basis kind of thing. Yes, torture can be effective, but it is a really dark thing and can totally come back around, lots of puns in the episode, to get you. Number 9, Queen Industries is now officially Palmer Tech. I flipped a little when I saw the sign on top of the building. It was such a throwaway moment too, they totally buried the lead. That's gonna come back in episode 9, that'll be more of an issue in next week's episode. We didn't see Ray Palmer at all, so they really didn't address any of the Palmer Tech stuff. It was really all about bringing Team Flash into the story, in the most appropriately hilarious way possible. Seriously, I totally love Cisco and Caitlin. Number 8, Team Flash in the Arrow Cave. We don't call it that, ever. Such a great Felicity reaction. When she was the one that did the same thing when Roy walked in and said, "What is this, like the Arrow Cave?" And Felicity said, "Yeah, we totally call it that." It was just giving Oliver's line to her. I love the way that they trade lines like that. Felicity is like the Oliver of the situation, just like wanting them to take things seriously. Team Flash in the Arrow Cave was really a comedy moment. I mean, there was a whole lot of stuff going on, but they said it themselves later in the episode. We don't take things seriously. Like in Starling, it's really dark and gritty. In Central City, they haven't got to that point yet. Like they're still riding high on superpowers. So it just gives us a chance to have some more fun inside the Arrow Cave. Just like Cisco geeking out on all the trick arrows. And yes, he did tease that he's going to develop some tech. I mean, Oliver got the suit at the end of the episode, which I'll totally talk about in a second. That's not all he was talking about. Like, he was talking about upgrading everything, which will totally happen. Like, that will totally come to pass. That'll be where a lot of the passive crossover between the shows will happen in the future, where characters don't go on each other's shows. They'll be like, oh, we got this gift from Star Labs. We'll actually see what that is in episode 9, and it'll have something to do with solving the mystery of Sarah's killer. Like whatever the tech that they give them, it'll help them solve the mystery. Another one of my favorite moments from the episode, hands down, one of my favorite jokes, was Caitlin asking about the salmon ladder bar. Yeah, I mean, Grant Gustin had that funny moment where he did it at super speed. It's him not realizing why the girls like it so much. Like, it's not that Oliver does a lot of them, it's just that he does them in a way that's very appealing to the women on the show. So, Flash salmon ladders, not as cool as Arrow salmon ladders. Number 7, Captain Boomerang versus Argus. So this is like our introduction to Captain Boomerang, and he basically just hands everyone's asses to them. It's actually a really awesome, big action scene. Really the advantage of using all those boomerangs is that they can take the corners. It also answers what Digger Harkness, the character, is doing. He's coming after Lila because she tried to scrub a mission, meaning she tried to kill the team that was on the mission so they wouldn't be discovered. I don't really consider that an Easter egg. I mean, every Suicide Squad movie or story we've ever seen has dealt with the issue of Amanda Waller implanting explosive devices in people's heads. I did think it was kind of strange that Amanda Waller was in the flashbacks, but wasn't in any of the present day scenes. But I think they might have kept her out just to keep things from getting too confusing. The Captain Boomerang character was actually created by Carmine Infantino. They actually had a shout out where they did a street sign that was named Infantino, like a street intersection. They do that on Arrow all the time, where street names are named after comic book creators. The reason they picked Captain Boomerang for this crossover episode is because he was a Flash villain, like he was a member of the Rogues, so he fits in both universes. He was also a member of the Suicide Squad in the comics. Arrow's doing Suicide Squad, Flash is doing the Rogues, so it just matched up really nicely. Number 6, the Flash saves Oliver. So Barry gets his entrance into the crossover just the same way Oliver got a really cool entrance into the Flash side of the crossover. There was also the funny like Marilyn Monroe tease moment where he was running past Thea on his way there. Before the episode, Stephen Amell did this Q&A where he was asked to do like 2 lies, 1 truth about the episode. And turns out we learned it was a lie now, but when he was doing the Q&A, he said Thea has the closest to a Marilyn Monroe moment as you could do on network television. That's like where the wind blows her dress up and shows her underwear. And yes, that was the DJ that she was talking to, like the douchebag DJ she was talking to on the phone about the kiss. Number 5, Flaro morality explained. So like I said, the producer said this was all about the morality of being a superhero, the morality of justice, treated in both universes, the Arrow and the Flash. I liked Cisco's explanation, that metahumans were like answer, maybe not God's answer, like dark matter wave answer to all the crazy people. Like there've always been crazy people, and now metahumans are around to deal with it. A lot of collateral damage down the road though. Not all metahumans are going to be nice, as we will find out next week on The Flash. A la Man in the Yellow Suit. Diggle and Cisco is a pretty good team up too. I want to see more scenes with them together. Diggle's kind of like the old man of the episode. I feel bad for him because he's actually really young. Like he's about the same age as Oliver, maybe just a little bit older. But he's like, I remember back in my day, there were no superpowers. Which isn't true, actually. We know that's not true now. Number 4, Oliver's fight scene with Captain Boomerang at the end. So earlier in the episode, we had like that big Captain Boomerang action scene where he's fighting like a bunch of people. But now this is like the one-on-one fight, which is just as awesome. I feel Arrow does these kinds of action scenes even better. Like really intimate close-up action scenes. It's just more fun to watch just because you're that much closer to the action. And once again, Oliver's able to get the upper hand on someone with superior technology. It's not so much about who has the best toys or the best powers. It's really about who uses the situation to their advantage the most. And that's what Oliver is the best at. I mean, Barry even said it to him, like since their team up, since the Flash side of the team up, he's been casing crime scenes before he engages the criminals. So Oliver is still kind of like the Jedi Master of the episode, despite being the one that has like the least amount of crazy gadgets. Although he does have some really awesome trick arrows. Number 3, the Rocky 3 ending. While the episode was happening, Greg Berlanti, one of the producers, said to watch out for a really awesome reference to a movie that was the favorite of all the producers. That includes Andrew Kreisberg and Mark Guggenheim. Whenever I saw them like run at each other, all I could think of was Rocky 3, but it turns out he confirmed it. It was Rocky 3. Flareau Bros Forever. They didn't explain why it's their favorite movie. I mean, I'm sure there's a number of reasons. There's a lot of like thematic things that line up with Apollo Creed and Rocky training together, just like The Flash and Arrow. Most of the time when people talk about the movie, it's like in a comical way. Number 2, the episode 9 Ra's al Ghul teaser. They dropped a couple teasers in the episode, so I'm just going to go ahead and play it right here.
The citizens of Starling will see what the League of Assassins is capable of.
If you fight Ra's al Ghul, he'll kill you.
This is a duel with one of the most dangerous men that has ever walked the earth.
You've taken your last life.
So essentially what's going on is this is happening in modern day. I know there was a lot of confusion about that. Ra's al Ghul gives Oliver 48 hours to find Sarah's killer. The episode is titled The Climb, so presumably he has to climb this mountain, wherever this is, to fight Ra's al Ghul for justice. Like he probably gives him the option, like, I'll either take down Starling looking for this person, or you can fight me. Otherwise, I can't think of a lot of reasons for Oliver to fight Ra's al Ghul in the snow. And my number 1 moment, the Man in the Yellow Suit teaser. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play this real quick too.
The witness says all he saw was a blur.
What did it look like?
Like a man that was looking for something.
I found him, Dad. I found the man who killed Mom. Don't let him take any more.
Catch me.
This man stabbed my mother through the heart. This is my fight.
So this is the episode where we finally meet the Reverse Flash. That's what they're calling him, the Reverse Flash. I mean, there's a lot of different names you could call him, but as you can see in this shot here, Harrison Wells and Eddie Thawne both looking at him. So it's neither one of them, unless it's a future version of one of them, which I don't think is the case. Just like there are multiple Flashes, like there's Bart Allen, which we got a shout out to in the episode, there are multiple Reverse Flashes. This is just going to be the first one, and we're not going to find out his identity, like his face will be blurred. Don't worry, we can do tons of guessing whenever that episode comes next week. Let me know though, what was your favorite moment from the episode, and who do you think the villain should be for their next crossover? Like what about Slade Wilson? I actually just forgot to mention it during my top 10, but they stuck Captain Boomerang in the same Argus Underground prison that Slade's in. The funny thing about that is that both of those actors, like Manu Bennett and the actor that played Captain Boomerang, they're from Spartacus. So it's like a bit of a mini reunion for them if they're going to be in an episode in the future. Slade Wilson confirmed to be coming back in episode 14, but it's also possible that Captain Boomerang could come back in that episode too, if it's not a flashback. Just something to get really excited about. Also, the new Arrow suit. There will be more upgrades. Like Cisco said that he found a fabricator in Starling City, meaning that when he makes upgrades, like you'll see them on Arrow. It's basically just a stronger version of the suit that he can put more trick arrows on, like more gadgets. I think Ray Palmer is going to develop some tech for him too. Like he'll get some Palmer tech added to that suit now that he has capacity to carry more stuff on it. All in all, I gave the episode a solid A. It was a totally great crossover. I know crossovers can sometimes get a little too weird. I thought they did an amazing job. One of the things I think that they did really well was not just completely do the exact same thing they did on The Flash. They changed the tone, the arc was different. It was like a completely different episode. Like you could watch this episode without having watched the Flash episode. I know there's always questions about that, like do I have to watch the Flash to understand what's going on Arrow and vice versa? My favorite performance in the episode was Stephen Amell, just because he had to carry the complete emotional through line. Grant Gustin did have to be something of a foil emotionally for him, just with the morality. But this was all on Stephen Amell, and he even had to play 2 different versions of Oliver. It's always fun to listen to his voice, like the way he inflects his voice when he's young Oliver versus the present day Oliver, who has like the really dark Batman voice. I totally love their gritty, dark Captain Boomerang. Whenever you see him in the comics or you see him like in the cartoons, he tends to be a little more comical, like a little sillier. So I am happy to see them try something a little bit different. This is more like a Christopher Nolan Captain Boomerang. Just think about that. Wouldn't that be crazy? I know the show always tries to be really realistic with the way it portrays the crazy stuff, but Mark Guggenheim actually just said that because of this crossover episode, he's kind of opened his mind to doing superpowers on Arrow. So it is possible we could see metahumans on Arrow. Like he changed his mind literally in the last couple of weeks on that. It's just that before that, he said it was a hard and fast rule, no superpowers on Arrow, with the exception of like Barry Allen. One of my favorite Easter eggs in the episode though was when Quentin Lance called Barry Bart Allen, who's obviously we know is Kid Flash. It's just a great Easter egg and a great call out to a future character that we might see on The Flash for real. Like we'll see Wally West before we see Bart Allen, but it's totally possible. Yes, they have confirmed they are doing Wally West, not anytime soon though. Like it's gonna take a while to get there. I imagine in this continuity that they've set up, he'll end up being like a cousin of Iris's. All in all, amazing episode. Don't forget though, next week episode 9 of both shows, so be sure to subscribe to get my videos for that. I will do bonus videos in the off season. I think Arrow should be coming back on the 14th of January, and The Flash will probably just come back at the exact same time too, so it'll be off the air for like 5 weeks, which isn't that big a deal. Real quick reminder, if you're on your mobile phone or on your tablet, there's new links up here that you can click on. It's the same as the links over here, but click here for my Flash versus Arrow video, and click here for all my other Arrow bonus videos. Thank you so much for watching, so let's all high five. I will see you guys tomorrow.